Magandang araw sa inyong lahat. This is Paulo Tibig, 2021 na, and we have high hopes na we can now bounce back and thrive ngayong bagong taon. If you are a corporate leader or business leader, ito lang po yung tanong natin. Is our team now ready to be successful this year? If you observe today, the consumer or customers are changing their buying habits. And basically, it's more than the price right now that is more important in choosing product or service. Nowadays, customers want to make the most in what they spend. The value is the first and foremost reason why customers are patronizing our product and services. So what do we do? This 2021, we have to be relevant. We have to stand out. We have to be the orange among apples. Imagine this representation. You can see now an orange amongst the apples. And look and visualize these apples are your competitors. Meaning to say, everything equal. Pare-pareho ang offering natin. Pare-pareho ang ating pricing. Pare-pareho yung pinu-provide natin. Paano bibili, paano tayo tatangkilikin, at paano ipapatronize ng ating customers yung ating product or service. So the principle that I share is always about you have to be the orange among apples. You have to be different. We have to stand out. If your product and services is almost the same as these apples, then definitely we will be just providing yung price war. And we don't want that. We wanted to have the value with our product or service. We have to be the orange amongst apples. These are the proven insight and principle that I always share in our Mindset of Champion keynotes. These are insightful, actionable, relevant, ideal for kick-offs, sales rallies, conferences, general assemblies, and team buildings, and more. Anchored on the 5 holistic Mindset of Champion keynotes framework, which circles on the 5 important cornerstones. First, on our core, establishment, and the right mindset and motivation to develop the essential skills and leadership development. Second, customers, learning the right approach in building long-lasting customers relationship. Third, product or services. You need to know exactly your differentiator. Paano ka magiging orange sa mga apples? Fourth, strategies. Time-tested, actionable steps that can be employed immediately to increase sales productivity. And fifth, results. Deliver it for the organization and aim for continuous sales improvement and performance management. So, whether your industry is FMCG, insurance, real estate, retail, or services, B2B, B2C, we have the right keynote for you. For bookings and inquiries, see the details below so we can help you motivate your team and kickstart 2021 right. Everyone, maraming salamat. This is Paulo Tibig. See you on your next event.
Welcome to the Paulo Tibig Show, ang babago sa Saturday habit mo. At these crucial times, we'll definitely need a boost in our work and business performances. That is why TPTS is here to provide you all access to valuable business contents to help entrepreneurs and corporate professionals. we will equip you with insights, best practices, and motivation toward excellence in the workplace. This show will also feature real stories, industry learnings, and authentic experiences from our seasoned experts and leaders. Are you ready to learn and stand out? Kung oo, then ano pang hinihintay mo? Tune in na sa the Paulo Tibig Show, the show for your businesses and companies. The Paulo Tibig Show.
Alright everyone, magandang gabi sa inyong lahat na naman. Narito na naman tayo sa bagong Saturday night habit natin. Siyempre, alas 7 na naman ng gabi at walang iba dito sa show na lagi natin ngayong sinusundan. At tuwing Sabado, alas 7 ng gabi, only here at the Paulo Tibig Show. So, magandang gabi kung nasaan man kayo ngayon sa buong Pilipinas at sa ibang panig ng mundo. Halina kayo at i-share nyo na unang-una yung ating show for tonight. Again, it's Women's Month. So, for the rest of the month of March, talagang ang pag-uusapan natin at ang mga bisita natin, mga karamihang magagaling at talagang standout leader din naman na mga kababaihan dito sa ating bansa. So, magandang gabi everyone. Kumusta po kayong lahat? At I hope nasa mabuti kayong kalagayan despite the fact na naririnig natin sa news ngayon, dumadami ang kaso ng COVID, dumadami ang nagkakasakit. So I hope na nasa mabuti po tayong kalagayan ng lahat at talaga namang nagsusumikap. Alam naman natin so challenging ang panahon, di ba? Halos, exactly, parang isang taon na nga, di ba? Itong pangyayaring ito, nakita naman natin ang daming pagbabago. Personal na buhay natin, professional na buhay natin, sa ating career, sa ating negosyo. But isa lang ang lagi natin sinasabi dyan. We just put, di ba, our mind into it, our heart into it, and basically, di ba, let's face those challenges with so much positivity, not with COVID everyone, as I always say, but with all the, yung outlook na tama, para na sa ganon, tuloy-tuloy pa rin yung ating buhay na maganda. Yan. Again, everyone, i-like at i-share na. At syempre, para mas maraming mag-benefit dito sa ating TPTS show. So, tandaan nyo lamang, mas maraming makikinabang nito, mas maraming makakarinig, makakapanood, pabor na pabor sa ating lahat. You get a lot of insight, you get a lot of motivation, makilala yung mga guests natin. And so, syempre, magkaroon ng network with one another. Yun po ang objective ng The Paulo Tibig Show. Okay? So, again, una-una, we would like to invite you to follow us on our social media account, diba? Follow us on LinkedIn, on Twitter, on Instagram, at again, Paulo Tibig lang po yan para nang sa ganun, lahat mapapanood nyo pa rin doon at makikita nyo. And also, don't forget to subscribe in our YouTube channel, di ba? At Paulo Tibig. And don't forget to always hit the bell button nang sa ganun, again, yung nasa YT community naman, mapapanood tayo yan ng mga taong, mga kaibigan din naman natin dyan. Also, everyone, kung nami-miss nyo yung mga ibang episodes natin at yung mga posting namin sa YouTube, subscribe na kayo kasi doon nyo po makikita, mapapanood yung mga playback. If you wanted yung mga iba't ibang topic na makita, nandun po yan. At kayo na po ang bahala on your time and your convenience. So, ano lang kailangan gawin? Mag-subscribe na. Ayan, so March pa rin, di ba, everyone? At alam naman natin na how can we get our really on track to meet our having your sales kickoff, diba, sales rallies, conferences, general assemblies, or team buildings for one, let us know. We've done this for so many companies and organizations mula nung Enero, and we hope that we can help you out also with that. We have developed a new framework, Mindset of Champion framework, to ensure that our team can work on with that agility and resiliency. So let us know with this. We also have these signature programs. Yung ating yan, nabanggit ko nga, iba't iba kasi yun sa Mindset of Champion keynotes natin. Tapos yung lab of work natin, culture building, yung ating sales masters na modular talaga na 8 modular, napakaganda. We have seen that for many companies right now. And then yung ating frontline management, yung ating leadership program, siyempre anchored on our standout leadership, di ba? Also yung essentials on management, as well as yung ating NLP's team building facilitation na S3 Decor. Yan. So let us know. Again, nandiyan po yung contact. You can email us in our and let us know how do we and how can we collaborate for your company and your organization. At this point, we would like to also greet our newest members ng Workplace Excellence Professionals Community. Kung nariyan kayo, magparamdam po kayo, mag-comment na kayo sa ating chat box. Ang sinasabi nga natin, bakit po natin na itong community to para matulungan ng bawat isa na magkaroon pa ng maraming insight, motivation in their career, whether you're from HR, sales, marketing, customer service, operation, lahat po kayo, join us with that. Also yung mga nasa business, join us with Workplace Excellence PH Community. And we would like to extend our warmest welcome for those new members na narito sa atin at nag-join na. Yan. And if you wanted also to get your message across to your customer, we have this segment, yung brand hack segment natin. We have developed packages based on your needs, based on your target. We will provide you analytics on this. So it doesn't follow kung malaki o malaking product or services or business you're into or yung company niyo. We can always look into and bespoken and customizing that effort. So remember, brand hacks, again, details is there, phone number, and also our email address. So join us and let your product services get into it. Brand hack. Gusto rin nating batiin ang ating pasalamatan, di ba, yung ating mga partners. Unang-una yung Bounce Back Network Community. Palakpakan natin. And also yung Global Pinas TV. So you can also watch through their platform yung ating show simultaneously. Kaya kung meron pa kayong mga kilala o alam na mga online show or podcast, i-inform nyo kami, i-tap nyo kami or i-connect nyo kami with them so that we can also partner with them and probably a very good partnership para mas marami pa po mga reach itong The Paulo Tibig Show every Saturday. 7. Yan. So, now, Women's Month. Sabi nga natin, Marso pa rin, di ba? And alam nyo, ako excited ako with our guest for today dahil ito isang kilala doon sa kanyang industriya. Talagang isang epitome ng kababaihan dito sa Pilipinas. No? So, gusto kong munang before that, syempre, like to set the premise on this. Alam nyo, women are great strides, di ba, in agricultural sector or world. Hindi nga ito, di ba? Sabi nga, panglalaki nga raw ito. And it has a compelling tale to share about persistence also in leadership, di ba? And there are plenty of chances to lend your knowledge and expertise in your industry. Nasaan man tayong industriya. It is in agriculture that the company or we is, talagang nandun at nilalatag sa ating sa pagkainan. Ito yun. And sa mga farmland na to, diba, nakikita natin na we can find yung mga relationship that helps yung mga ating mga farmers, yung ating community to help one another para mas mapag-grow lalo pa yung sektor ng agrikultura. Diba? There are so many ways to create and nurture kumbaga our love for agriculture. Sabi ko nga, everyone, it's good to be in agriculture as always. So with this, I think before we introduce our formally our guest for tonight, gusto natin munang i-flash yung ating standout quote for this time. Yan, ano ba nakalagay? Ang standout quote natin for the week is, behind every successful woman is a tribe of other successful women who have her back. So ano ibig sabihin? If you wanted to be successful, di ba, laging nakikita natin in corporate, in business, parang laging mga kalalakihan yung ating nakikita na namamayagpag. Hindi ba pwedeng ang mga kababaihan din? Di ba? Women power, women leadership, women empowerment. So we wanted to see women who's also, we have seen many also na women who's leading businesses na talagang ang gagaling, who's leading companies na talagang magagaling, who's leading organization na talagang kahanga-hanga. So again, every woman needs and deserve to have and somebody at their back, at their side to help them get through and be an inspiration also to get them motivated to be one of the best women in the country. So behind all these successful women is a tribe of other successful women who have her back. So maraming salamat to sa women out there. Again, happy Women's Month to all of you. And I think marami sa viewers natin talaga mga women, not just in NCR, GMA, but the rest of the country and also around the world. So happy Women's Month everyone. Yan. Now, at this point, everyone, formally, let me introduce to you our guest for this episode. CHERRIE Atilano is the founder and CEO of AGREA Agricultural Systems International, Inc., a for-purpose and inclusive business that is creating the first replicable one-island economy that is zero hunger, zero waste, and zero insufficiency as an objective. CHERRIE started teaching farmers at the age of 12. Wow, CHERRIE, aga, no? Has 22 years of vast experience in sustainable food system. She is a high-level ambassador of UN Scaling Up Nutrition, food system champion of the United Nations, young global leader of the World Economic Forum, board member of the Global Alliance for Improved Nutrition, and the Philippine Ambassador of Food Security. In 2020, with her leadership in COVID-19 response for connecting farmers to consumers, she is named the Best Top Manager Post-Pandemic Economy of the APEC Best Award, and UN Women WEP's Award for COVID-19 response. So everyone, ipakita po natin ang warm at yung ating reception to our guest for this episode. Let's all welcome Miss CHERRIE Atilano. Palakpakan natin si CHERRIE. Ayan. Hello, CHERRIE. Ayan, maraming salamat for joining us at we're so thrilled to have you here. Bubulong ko lang po sa inyo ating mga viewers baka po hindi pa po nasa cloud9 pa rin po si Miss CHERRIE kasi nung isang araw meron po siyang kausap na ewan ko na lang gwapong-gwapo na katulad daw natin, no, si Atom Arolo. CHERRIE, magandang gabi sa iyo and welcome to the Paulo Tibig Show. Che.
Magandang gabi, Paulo. Thank you so much, no, sa pag-imbita sa akin na magsalita dito sa show mo. Alam kong busy mo, ang busy ko, but I think this is it. No, I'm so happy talaga and so honored that you invite me to be one of the women to be celebrated for this month.
Oo, Che, no, alam mo yung mga naiimbita natin talaga dito are really top-notch and mga standout leaders talaga. Lalo na ngayon, gusto natin bigyan ng papuri at bigyan natin ng pugay yung mga kababaihan, di ba, ng mga Pilipina na alam naman natin napakagaling. Kasi alam naman na po natin, everyone, mga viewers, na kuminsan laging mga kalalakihan na nakikita natin parang nandun sa, nasa limelight. Gusto nating i-highlight din yung mga kababaihan na talaga namang napakagaling sa kanilang kanya-kanyang field. CHERRIE, alam ko excited na yung ating mga viewers all over. We're now being watched all over, not just in the country but also in the world. Kung saan mang party merong Filipino. And do you have something to show us para we can start kung meron kang konting slide or deck dyan?
Yeah, yes, definitely, Pao. So ako kasi, di ba, I work with the agriculture sector for almost 23 years na this year.
Mhm.
I started teaching
Mhm.
farmers at the age of 12.
Oo
So
nga.
ngayon, usapan po natin ay tungkol sa agrikultura.
Yan.
Yan. So meron akong presentation. I titled The Ecology of Dignity, an
Okay.
innovative approach towards sustainable agricultural transformation. Um, Palagi ko, Paulo, no, some of our viewers are asking, why ecology of dignity and what is AGREA? Just to give you a
Mm.
little bit of background, our company is about AGREA. It's because it's a combination of two words, agriculture plus Gaia, Mother Earth, woman, environment, nurturing. Because most of the time they said that agriculture, food production is the enemy of our environment, but it should not be like that. In our company, what we're trying to do is how agriculture and environment can actually be best friends. So I started AGREA 7 years ago. It's an innovative, inclusive, for-purpose agribusiness company that is founded on sustainable agriculture, fair trade, replicable model of an agri-based economy. So sa lahat no ng mga nanonood ngayon, I think wherever you are in the Philippines or in the world, this is something that it connects you home because Philippines is such an agricultural country, and this is something that we really need to talk about in a more important level. So for background, I'm Ilongga, I'm from Bacolod. So maayong gabi sa tanan nga pamati kag nagatanaw sa amon. I
Oo
also
nga,
speak.
yun ha. Alam nyo, everyone ha. Tignan nyo, last week lang po Ilonggo rin yung ating bisita. Ngayon na naman, Ilongga na naman yung ating bisita. Ewan ko ba, ba't yung region na yan, napakalapit yata sa ating lahat na viewers. Ayan, very good. I'm sure matutuwa ang ating mga bisita ngayon ha. Si Miss Cherrie na nagsasalita in her own dialect. Yan, magandang gabi sa inyong lahat.
Yeah, the power of Ilonggo. So basta to mga Ilongga, gwapa, no? Hambal nila. And I also speak Bisaya. So maayong gabi sa tanang mga Bisaya nga nagatanaw karon sa amua na hopefully no makatig-on mo sa among discussion. If you see here, Paulo, in the slide, I really want to emphasize cultivation of human beings. Because in agriculture, it's very technical. We always measure things on the yield that we have, the land that we cultivated, the crops that we're cultivating. But we really forgot the fact that the very people, the producers of the food in the food chain, both the farmers and the fisher folks, are the beings behind agriculture. And for me, cultivation of human beings, it's really doing capacity building with them, giving them enough dignity and respect that they actually belong to the most important pool of workforce in our economy, in the supply chain. So what we're trying to say there, if you see here in AGREA's vision mission, I was really thinking to share this with everyone. It's because a lot of agricultural companies, no, kung kayo po gusto nyo mag-farming or gusto nyo mag-venture into agribusiness, most of us, hindi natin alam kung anong ating gagawin, paano tayo mag-umpisa. For me, Paolo, I always ask myself every morning, what's my mission in life? And what my mission in terms of my business and our work. So sa AGREA, our mission is to alleviate a poverty and hunger of farming and fishing communities in the Philippines. But our vision, kung makita mo, it's about to create the first one island economy in the country. Bakit ganon? Alam naman natin, di ba, we have 7,000 plus islands in the
Yeah.
Philippines, and it's no joke to not develop these islands. We compose of 12 million hectares of underproductive land. Kaya sabi ko nga, Paolo, isang malaking kasalanan pag may Pilipinong nagugutom. Kasi ang taba ng lupa natin, marami tayong tubig, marami tayong farmers, at talagang kung masipag ka lang, walang gutom sa Pilipinas. At kung ma-utilize lang natin yung ating natural resources, the Philippines, no, in a more sustainable way, definitely everything will be good.
Yeah.
So I really want to focus on our three major goals. It's zero waste, zero hunger, and zero insufficiency. Basically, I want to stress on zero waste. Our approaches in our company are all environment friendly. Zero hunger, Paolo, this is not the hunger of your stomach that if you eat something, mabubusog ka na, di ba? malalim-lalim na gutom ito, Paolo. This is hunger of human being to belong. This is hunger of our farmers and the fisher folks to be recognized that they belong to the growth of our economy. Hindi yung sila lang yung palaging dulo ng ating mga pag-iisip na ay wala silang malaking kontribusyon. Lastly, zero waste. This is basically our business. You know, we really work a lot on the import-export of every island we work and how we can actually lessen the import and work on growing what's available and can be grown in the island. So even Paulo, as a personal advocacy, I'm really strong in zero waste. Sa bahay ko, I have like kitchen waste composting. You know, I do a rooftop garden here in our condo. And even in our website, we are running in sustainable platform. So if you click the AGREA website, it's actually not consuming a lot of your cellular data and it's running in a sustainable energy. It's powered by Joomla Tools as our partner. But more than that, Paula said, para from agriculture in AGREA, I also work as a United Nations ambassador for nutrition.
Oo nga. For nutrition, ano? Oo nga. So, alam mo, exciting nga yan eh. Sige nga, can you share with us ano yung mga parang, di ba, ginagawa mo rin naman as an ambassador, as a UN ambassador for nutrition?
So, I'm part of the Scaling Up Nutrition movement. We're handling 62 member countries around the world. And before pandemic, Paulo, you cannot see me in the Philippines a lot because I'm always outside doing diplomatic work and also doing a lot of business work. But more than that, the Sustainable Development Goals, I just want to remind everyone that we have 10 years left or 9 years left. And with this pandemic, all of this are retracking backwards. You know, parang what we did for the last 20 years, nawawala na. We really need to double our action in the next decade, right? We need to challenge ourselves on how to do this. So in my UN ambassadorial work, of course, my job is kind of diplomatic. So we work with prime ministers and ministers of health and with World Food Program, UNFEO, UNDP, World Health Organization. On how
so you have nab with this mga particular government mga tawag dito personalities. Siyempre sa agriculture, tas nga iba-ibang bansa. Tama, di ba? Parang ganyan siya.
Yeah, so that's basically our work and also decision makers, no? Because we always believe that malnutrition is such a big problem to tackle. And all of these goals, you know, of the United Nations is contributing to that. And my work in AGREA, especially in the farmers, is hugely contributing to that. It's because it's a crime against humanity that the producers of the food in the food chain, the farmers and the fisher folks, are the poorest and the hungriest. Di ba, Paolo? Pag pumunta ka sa mga seaside natin in the Philippines, you see minsan isang platong kanin, tapos may isang pirasong tuyo. Alam mo yon?
O kaya noodles.
It's very unhealthy and it's causing a lot of problems and health diseases in our country. So, but just to share with you what AGREA has been doing, we have huge presence in these two major islands. We started in the island of Marinduque. If you see on the map, you know, we have some interventions there. We plant ginger, turmeric, and we also have black pig production. In Siargao Island, bakit kami napadpad sa Siargao? It's because this island is visited with around 400,000 tourists every year before pandemic. And the threat there, no one is almost growing vegetables in the island. You know, right now, 3 years.
Paano nasusustain yung food requirements ng mga resort and the tourists in itself? Alam naman natin ang taas ng awareness ngayon ng hindi lang na Filipino but also foreigner, di ba, to go into Siargao.
Yeah. So almost 95% of their needs are actually imported. So when we started in Siargao, we were invited by the governor and Matugas and Congressman Bingo Matugas of Siargao to see, because their problem is 95% of their food need, from vegetables to meat products to rice, are actually imported. So it comes from, you know, from Mindanao area or Cebu. But they are an agricultural island. However, though, lahat ng mga lalaki, they left the farming communities. It's because they want to be habal-habal driver or construction workers to build new.
Mabilis daw ang pera doon. Oo nga, tour operators. Oo
At
nga.
Paolo, joking aside, sabi pa ng mga farmers doon, ma'am, kung sa Bisaya pa, no, kinsa pa may mukat-kat sa niyog, kung 50 pesos raman ang buko, kung mag-drive daw sila habal-habal, 1,000 pesos yung bayad ng foreigner, 60 pa daw na surfer. O sino ngayon
Oo nga.
aakyat, di ba?
Tama. Doon na lang ako sa habal-habal.
Doon na lang
Oo
ako sa
nga.
habal-habal. May sexy pang foreigner na nakayakap.
Nakabikini pa.
Nakabikini pa. It's a culture in Siargao. So, but when we went there, Paolo, it's fascinating. We launched the More Love for Women Farmers in this island. We were preparing for 500 women farmers. Alam mo ba, Paolo, 800 women farmers arrived because they really want to make their land productive. So, ang nakakatuwa, it's because right now we're doing our vegetable production in Siargao. We also have a rice mill that we're working. But aside from that, these two islands, we have a farm school because I always believe on the power of educating people. And that's about cultivation of human beings. And aside from that, we're so known, our company is known on climate resilient farming approach. Nakita mo naman, Paolo, ang laki ng smile ko sa picture.
Ganda ng lugar eh. Oo.
This is like coconut fields that we converted into not just coconut fields. Look at that. We planted turmeric and ginger on that. And actually this year we will be massively planting more. It's because if you're a coconut farmer, you're only earning, 3,000 pesos every 45 days from Copra. Kasi if you have 1 hectare of land and you have 100 trees, nabagyuhan ka, natumba na yung 10, it takes you 10 to 20 years to have another coconut. So what we do is we utilize the land under coconut by planting superfoods, which are high-value products like ginger and turmeric. Lalo na ngayong pandemya, ang daming nag-immune boosting. And second one is we're teaching the farmers on how to plant vegetables around this farm so that later on it can be a farm tourism destination and they plant vegetables for their own consumption. And we also teach them organic black pig production, backyard chicken production, or small ruminants like mga goats, no? So, in a way, if masalanta sila ng bagyo, alam mo naman, Paolo, di ba, sa Pilipinas, yung bagyo natin nagsasanta Cruzan. We have 20 to 21 typhoons in a year.
Marami.
Talagang marami. So, what we want to do is to really make them resilient. So, this is in our farm school. We are the first DA, ATI, and TESDA accredited farm school in Marinduque Island, and we actually have 8 curriculums that we offer. And this is also offered in Siargao. We had our farm school open in Siargao last December. And right now, we're training 50 farmers in Siargao. Ang nakakatuwa dito, Paolo, tingnan mo tong picture. We have a lot of youth and women enrolled in our farm school. Look at this. This is like in our batch in 2017 when we started our farm school.
Dami ah. How many individuals per batch? Ito isang batch lang to.
This one, it's a combination of like around 4 or 5 batches kasi we have 25 students per batch. And what's beautiful in here is in our farm school, a lot of young people are interested to enroll in our farm school. Diba, it's a big problem kahit anak ang magsasaka mismo. They're telling their children, wag kang magsaka ha, wag mong sundin kasi walang pera sa pagsasaka. And here you
mindset.
Nag-iiba
yung mindset. Kasi nga, the lure of corporate, the lure of, big earnings kaagad when they go out, di ba? Parang ganyan after college. So, iba nga, parang ganyan. Cherry question lang dito, no? Baka malimutan ko lang dito, no? Sabi mo nga, you have in Siargao, you have in Marinduque. Anytime soon in nearest Metro Manila or South or North or Central Luzon? In the horizon?
We will definitely have. So we're still looking for perfect farming communities that we're actually partnering. So we have invitation to go Pangasinan. We also have invitation to go Benguet area, Laguna area. So we're still working on that. Kasi hindi madali mag-open ng farm school. There are plenty of restrictions and requirements from TESDA and DAATI that you need to fulfill. At syempre magastos din siya, no? Kasi you need to fund everything up front bago ka
Oo nga.
mabayaran. Kasi naniningil kami to the government. So, but,
Parang ako gusto kong mag-ano yung sa Black Pig production.
yes, we teach that in our
Organic,
farm.
di ba? Parang ganyan. Yan. Let me know pag meron pwede.
But I put this picture, Pao, because this is very important to me. Capacitate farmers to dream for nation building. If you go to the farming communities, I always tell our team now, we're not solving the problems of farmers. We're just facilitating for them to dream. When you ask them, parang, alam mo, Paolo, minsan, okay lang naman na maliit yung pangarap mo, no? Pero, mangarap ka, managinip ka, right? And we want our farmers to realize that, tatay, nana, you're actually part why Philippines is progressing, why the economy of the Philippines is increasing. Araw-araw, when you go to your farms at 4 o'clock in the morning, you contribute to that economy. But we need to dream. And we need to dream together. So we teach them, we develop our curriculums, what's their dream for themselves, what's their dream for their family, their community or barangay they belong, their province, and also to the country. Look at this, Paolo. I'm also a teacher, Pao. So I teach in our farm school, but now we have hired teachers because I'm more in charge of really leading the business. And look at this, Pao. On the left, the picture on the left, that's Tatay Pilo. I met him, he was 48 years old. He doesn't know how to read and write. I emphasize this, it's because we're in the business of transformational, not just transactional. So it's so empowering for farmers to actually learn how to write and even to put their signature. It feels so good. And this is Tatay Longhino on the right side of the photo. He is being taught how much income he wants to earn in a month. We teach him on how much money the family needs to send all his apo to school. They have food on their table. They can farm again for next cropping. So these are very simple tools that we develop for our farmers to work on. And this is very transformational. The moment they see this, si Tatay Pino, dati sa barangay, every time I see him, yamong parang binubuli lang siya lagi sa barangay. Siya yung hinuhulog sa kanal ng ibang lasing. And we got him. When we got him, right now, he has his PhilHealth, he has his SSS, he has his Pag-ibig, and he earns a decent income. And he's such a good breadwinner of the family. So for me, these are simple wins, but as an example of Tate Pilo right now, he's also the teacher in our vermicomposting facility. So we call him VIP, very important person.
Oo nga, nasakto. As in yung V pa talaga, yung Victoring V. Oo nga, no? Oo, tama.
Now, if you go to our farm...
So siya ang in charge sa mga bulate.
Yes.
Tama.
Yes. So, Pao, I want to give you an insight also. So I did a little bit of introduction about my company, but this is a bigger work. On my other hat, Pao, right? Yes, I think I'm a Philippine ambassador for food security. This number is haunting me on a daily basis. This is the number of Filipinos we need to feed on a daily basis. And we're growing in numbers. We're now reaching 110 million people, right? And this is no joke. With this pandemic, ang daming gutom. Look at this, 7.6 million Filipinos experience involuntary hunger. That's why yesterday I was interviewed by Atom Arroyo. It's because of this, I was really vocal on how we can address hunger in the Philippines. And also malnutrition, because both of them are human rights and economic issues. Economics issues because a well-nourished human capital is a good foundation of a solid economy. Pag gutom yung mga tao, pag malnourished sila, they will perform bad in school. Later on, they will not perform also better in their career in lives, and they cannot perform in their work. So the vicious cycle of poverty and the vicious cycle of hunger and malnutrition will definitely affect our economy as a country. So this
Tsaka walang hinto. Parang it will continue as it is. Tama, di ba?
Kung malnourished ka, yung anak mo magiging malnourished rin, right? So if you have malnourished brains, if you have malnourished brains, you also have malnourished minds. How come? What kind of decision making you will do?
Malnourished din, kulang din.
So from seeing the consumer side, feeding 110 million Filipinos, and look at where we are right now in our farmers, right? nakapula talaga yan, Paolo. Our farmers are endangered species. They're like our tamaraws. Our farmers are aging, poor, low educational attainment. Now
Ah,
here,
well, sorry, Che. Question lang, di ba? Sabi mo nga, di ba, as we see right now, I'm sure yung viewers natin is also, would like to know about this. Sabi mo nga, with this, and this is based on study, and this is based on reality, that our Filipino farmers right now are, as you mentioned, parang endangered na. Kasi nga, di ba, yung next generation, yung mga anak, ayaw na sa farming, ayaw na sa agriculture. And may effect bang malaki yung technology that's coming right now in farming, in agriculture? We have seen lately na, well, in other countries, as I've seen, na parang minsan yung isang pamilya, kaya nilang, alam mo yun, kaya nilang gawin yung agricultural business nila within the family, wherein dahil meron ng mga automated makina, merong technology that help them. So how do you strike the balance between this, wherein we wanted sustainability, yet merong technology, yet merong automation, mechanization, pero yun nga, yung mga taong involved within the sector or within the industry, parang unti-unti, unfortunately, parang ayaw na. How do you reconcile with that?
yeah, for me, Pao, there should be a balance of everything. We have around 45 million farmers in the Philippines. And for me, it's not like the intervention of mechanization should not interfere of them losing their job. So we always need to be mindful and aware of that as well. So of course, it will increase their efficiency in the farm. It will increase their income maybe, but if it's also losing jobs for other farmers who don't have land, we need to be mindful and careful about what kind of intervention we want to do. So if you're like landed, for example, and you don't have manpower, it's good for you, right? And you're after efficiency. But if you're a smallholder farmer, you have naman, people around you can help you within the family. Maybe a simple intervention that is not also expensive for them to adopt and not intimidating. There are so many technologies out there, but some of them are so intimidating for farmers. One, intimidating because of the price, it's expensive. Second one, it needs a whole lot of science, right? So, ibang farmers ay ayoko kasi mahal, ay ayoko kasi parang complicated siya i-adopt. And paano kung masira, hindi ko na siya kayang gawin.
Tsaka
So for
siguro lots of encouragement. That's
yes,
one.
and of course subsidy to do that because they don't have money to upfront for
Yun
this
nga.
kind of investments, right?
Oo, tama. Agree.
Ako, I really just wanna always focus on how can the farmers maintain their job and those tenants and peasants who don't have land to still be given work in the food supply chain. They're not losing their job and they are not replaced by robots or mechanization, right? So I'm always thinking that in the process. Also, as a businessman, a woman, and at the same time, for the agriculture industry. And in this slide, Paolo, I just really want to share that this is very important. When the farmer is poor, so is the whole country. I think it capsulizes why our Philippine country, our beloved country, is poor because we never really focus on strengthening the farming sector. And this one, I'm sharing this to you. So from showing you the consumers and then the situation of our farmers, what happened during the pandemic? Because for me, look at this. When we were going to communities, because of our work in delivering, food items to different communities in Metro Manila, you can see this, patay na sa gutom di sa COVID-19. The
Oo
threat
nga.
of hunger is as real as the threat of COVID-19. And that's the reality.
Honestly, yun nga, may mga tao talaga na okay lang kaming okay lang kaming makipagsaparan because of COVID, but we cannot afford to let our family without food in the table.
That's the
And
reality.
that resonates to majority of Filipinos.
Yes.
I'm sure you agree with that, Chair.
Yes, and look at that. But the farmers never failed us during COVID-19 pandemic, right? You saw naman all over Facebook, and I think you're in different Viber groups. You see like pictures of farmers throwing tomatoes, pictures of farmers throwing carrots because they don't have a market, right? So there was food, and there were consumers who were striving, and look at this. The agriculture sector is only the sector that contributed positively to our GDP, right? Even despite the volcanic eruption last year, the pandemic, the ASEAN swine flu that happened, the agriculture sector really pivoted itself from negative.
Exactly. I think, Cherry, ito rin yung time, if we have seen a lot of negativities because of COVID, di ba? Pero we have seen resilient and industries that have really shined. And I think one of the things that Filipinos now are more aware, yung bang embracing agriculture. Alam mo, yearly, naglalabas ako ng Business Insight. Pang-siyam na taon ko na, Che. At alam mo lagi, siguro, halos taon-taon, hindi nawawala yung agriculture na nandoon. Alam mo lagi kong sabi, ito yung sustainable business. Ibig sabihin, ito yung parang business of infinity. Walang katapusan. That's one. Pangalawa, sabi ko nga, parang it's always cool to be in agriculture. So siguro ang isang bagay doon, nakita natin ngayon, it now increases, di ba? So sabi ko nga, Filipinos right now are slowly embracing, look at this, validation. And I'm sure lahat ng viewers natin ngayon, mag-a-agree at tumatango sa ating ngayon, Cherry. One way or another, nagtanim tayo sa bahay natin ng talong, okra, kamatis, may tumubo, may hindi tumubo, may naging bansot, may naging malaki. So ano ibig sabihin? Sustainability, again, if there is one resilient industry na inaayawan ng karamihan, Cherry, kaya ang happy kami, katulad ninyo, talagang pinupush ito, is that agriculture will be here. We have seen, pandemic man, walang pandemic, narito si agriculture. Business-wise, malinaw na yon, di ba? Pero ang key dito na nakikita ko, Che, yung reframing ng pag-iisip ng Filipino eh. Di ba, karaniwan, ayoko sa agriculture, marumi, ayoko mainit ang araw, ayoko amoy lupa ako, ang kuko ko masisira, ang cutics at pedicure ko. Pero come to think, tama, Che, di ba? Pero come to think of it.
Paano tayo mga Pinoy? Paano kita naman yung kulay ko, brown na brown, right?
Oo nga.
It's so hard to convince a lot of young people to go into agriculture kasi iitim ako dyan,
Ayun nga.
kakamitan
Oo,
tayo.
tama eh.
Ipapabukit ako.
Gusto ko naka-aircon ako. Gusto ko, alam mo, ganun eh. So, pero siguro with this type of encouragement, dapat mas maging aware, mas maintindihan ng bawat isa, lalo na yung mga millennials ngayon. Remember everyone, sa mga viewers sa may mga anak o yung mga nanonood ng mga millennials ngayon, try to look at it. Meron tayong mga resources kung minsan, kung nasa probinsya ka, meron kang resources dyan. Why not develop the resources and make it as a money-making, not just kasi pinili tayo ng magulang natin, it is because we have seen the beauty about agriculture.
Yeah. So it's really about this. How do we change the narrative of agriculture? Di ba ako, Paulo, isa kong promotor eh. We need to make farming sexy. I was quoted nga that, we need to make farming sexy. And if everyone sees dirt in soil, I see gold. Because as you mentioned, agribusiness is a business of infinity. It's the most essential business at the end of the day. I think, Paulo, during the pandemic announcement of lockdown, right? No one rushed to the supermarket to buy new car, new clothes, new bags, right? Everyone went to the market to buy pagkain. Rush talaga and hoarding of food because we don't know how long the lockdown will last, right? So agriculture is such a business of infinity and it's really essential and it should not be forgotten. Kaya nga natutuwa yung sabi mong inaayawan ng lahat, pero lahat tayo bumabalik. Ang daming plantito ngayon na bumabalik sa agriculture, which is really making
Correct.
Paulo,
negosyo.
Paulo, imagine I was 12 when I started this venture and for 23 years, wag mo nang tanungin yung edad ko, i-compute mo na lang. For 23 years, I'm still here because I really believe that this business is the best business to have. So Paulo, from seeing you, showing you the consumer side, the farmer side, the pandemic side. During the pandemic, there is food. The problem is people don't have money to buy food. I'll give you a context why, because I'm trying to spouse here a story of our producers and also our consumer side. Here's our consumer side, or our producers also belong to this, right? 70% of Philippine MSMEs naghirap talaga. The rich end of the line, I think, noong April, pwede ka pang mangutang sa pamilya mo, sa relative mo, sa friends mo, after parang haba na ng lockdown, lahat nagle-layoffs na, no, ng mga companies. Yung friends mo, hindi mo na naging friend. Yung family mo, nagtitipid na rin. Kanya-kanya na. So what happened? We all did our sariling diskarte. Right? So all our businesses, especially the small, medium, and micro enterprises really did sariling diskarte. So right now, this is why there is food, but the capacity of our consumers to buy food is very little. The buying power is very little. And so what we want to do with that, we need to help them really have access to healthy food at the same time. But look at this. End of the year last year, we also faced a tragedy. This picture was from Project Pearls in Tondo. This is what happened to their community. And kung si Greta Thunberg she said, this is the biggest crisis humanity has ever faced. This is not something you can like on Facebook. Climate change. So I don't want to give a black side of agriculture here, but this is the reality, right? We have climate change that we're also facing. However, with this climate change, look at the damage in agriculture sector, 7.6 billion damage in the agriculture sector by just 2 to 3 typhoons last year. So sabi ko, parang minsan it's a love and hate, right, in the agriculture sector. You're feeding people, you have secure market. I know it's a sustainable business. I'm always telling our farmers, feeding one person that is being born every day. And if that person would live in the next 60 years, meaning it's a 60 years of business of feeding that person. Day, morning, lunch, dinner. But of course, with the reality of climate change, we're also losing so much money in agriculture. But I don't want you to be, to be discouraged in the agriculture sector, because no matter wherever you are going all around the world, climate change is real, and it's the agriculture sector in the US or in other parts of the world, in Europe, in Brazil, or in Israel, the biggest food producer, they're also affected. But in the Philippine setting, during this pandemic and during that entire thing that happened, even typhoon, we need to be with our farmers. We also need to be sensitive enough to our consumers. Paula, I'll share with you a little bit of video.
Go ahead.
About our work. This is done in May by the World Economic Forum. So, Paolo, yun yung nangyari.
Move food. Oh.
We launched this Move Food 3 days after the pandemic. Actually, the first farmer who inspired me to start this, I had a date with him yesterday at 6 o'clock in the morning in his farm in Sierra Madre, where I also brought Atom Arali, right? So we started the Move Food. It's because of the lockdown. No market for our farmers.
Transportation.
So
Mas walang namimili.
walang namimili. And then we tagged it intentionally harvesting goodness. And by the way, this year we're launching our Move Food Grocery. It's an online platform. And this is a call from a pineapple farmer. I was on this farm yesterday in the foot of Sierra Madre Mountain. And this son was actually inspiring me, this little boy and his dad. Because they were farming, they borrowed money from a bank and they don't know how to pay that money. And at the same time, he needs to pay the tuition of his son for college. So So natulungan namin siya, Paulo. Kahapon sabi ko, tatay, thank you so much na you never stop calling me even in the middle of the night to help you. Grabe, Paulo, yung muscles ko, ang laki-laki. Imagine, I was carrying, with this farmer, dalawa lang kami, we were carrying 2,500 pineapples to be here in Makati.
Harvest. Isang harvest.
Isang harvest. And he has 15,000 pineapples. We sold everything. So, pinost ko lang to sa Facebook ko. It created a movement. You know, this is actually out of empathy and compassion. So, you know, that video was done in May. And right now, we're, I think, in almost 200 metric tons of fruits and veggies delivered in Metro Manila. These
All
are
coming from, Cherry, all coming from
all over
iba-ibang lugar na.
all over the Philippines, Pao. I could imagine myself, like I was on the phone at 4 o'clock in the morning, calling Roro in Jensan to accommodate our shipment, or, you know, to send the farmers' produce from Cotabato, Jensan, South Cotabato to here in Manila. And we were supplying a lot of online companies. So in that process, I was telling Mang Sani, the first farmer yesterday, Mang Sani, alam mo ba, kasi kinulit mo ako ng kinulit na tulungan ka. Right now, tayong dalawa at yung team namin sa AGREA na tulungan natin 28,122 farmers. So right now, Pao, my company is helping around 30,000 farmers all over the country. And during the pandemic, you know, we delivered goods to more than 78,000 families. It times 7 mo yan, household size, that's 500,000 people. And we were also donating food and feeding for free, 4,000 plus frontliners. So we were giving food to 10 hospitals in Metro Manila directly to their cafeteria for free so that they can feed our frontliners with healthy food and vegetables, you know. And we also delivered green kits to urban communities so that they can start planting. But on the side, Pao, going back to my zero waste, of course, hindi pwede kay Cherry na tinatapon lang yung bulok. Kung pangit ka, itatapon ka na lang ba? Di ba hindi pwede, Pao? So we utilized the AGREA and the Misfits fruits and vegetables. We made it into pomodoro sauces, broccoli soup. We even partnered with Margarita Forest of Chibo to develop sauces for Chibo. So this is to address zero waste. And look at this, Pao. Ako yung unang gumagawa ng jam. Every night, nagluluto ako ng jam sa bahay out of waste. Kasi,
Sabi ng viewers natin, Cherry, hashtag Bekenemen. Ang ganda, So, is this available online right now? Para dun sa mga gusto nagtatanong sa atin na mga viewers natin?
We will make them available again in April. So right now, kasi Pao, what happened to the AGREA Rescue Kitchen and the Move Food, it grows big that our board approved to make it as a business, and we got a big warehouse. No, so we got a big warehouse now in Makati. It's around 500 square, and then we're getting another warehouse na around mga 1,000 or 2,000 square meters in Taguig to basically do these operations. Because what will you do to those 30,000 farmers who are working out? Want to continue helping them.
Actually, dapat yung going to the value chain, going to the right, kasi from the produce to eventually process. And I think nandun yung Cherry, nandun yung nandun yung window of opportunity, that's one. At also nandun yung dilemma ng karamihan sa farmers natin, di ba? Parang marami sa farmers natin nasa agriculture na they will produce, exactly. But looking at the value chain, may kakulangan . And the window of opportunity, at the same time, the dilemma is doon sa next part ng chain, which is eventually get into processing it. Kaya nga, di ba, maraming bulok, tama ka kanina prutas, gulay, and even mga isda, nakita natin, di ba, parang hindi nabebenta. Bangka-bangka, truckload, etc. So, how do you do that? So, looking at the completeness of the chain, the need to process, there's a supply, paano tutulungan, paano gagawin siyang opportunity is the way to develop further para continuously hindi masasayang yung mga produce ng ating mga farmers. Agree ako with that. And I'm sure looking at it's a very promising, di ba? So for all of us who's getting and really looking at seriously in agriculture.
Yes. So for me, Pao, maraming pera sa agrikultura, and even the food waste, you can address this. These are rejects. These are like pineapples na hindi mo na mabenta kasi may bulok yung dulo. We turned them into jams and they're really good. And this initiative won in the world. I really so proud of this because we partner with a lot of women in the supply chain to make this happen. So it won in the zero waste initiative for social gastronomy movement in Brazil and Switzerland. So I'm so happy of that kasi parang kaya naman talagang gawin kahit nasa pandemya, di ba? But more than that, Pao, where are we now? So all those interventions it's leading us to strengthening our work with women in the agriculture sector. Me as a woman who's been thriving in a male-dominated industry, which is agriculture, may kwento ako dyan, Pao. I remember I was 15 years old. I'm mentoring a lot of young people now in agriculture and agribusiness. I was telling them, you know what, when I was starting, there's no community of mentoring around me. I really need to fight to be mentored. I really need to fight to have a seat in every conference. Right now, you can attend conference for free. Kung tamad ka, ikaw na lang yung problema, right? When I was 15 years old, Pao, I grew up in Bacolod. For people who are here, maybe you're Ilonggo or you grew up in Bacolod, you would understand the culture that you can only attend a conference if you're a haciendero with truckloads of sugarcane farm, you're a sugarcane mill owner, or you are a sabongero with hectares of sabungan and manok,
Manok.
manukan.
Yep.
So I really wanted to attend big conferences when I was 15, but I had no business. I had no money to pay the registration. So what I do, Pao, aga ko, I would always go to this conference venue early. I go to the parking lot and hanapin ko kung sino yung matanda doon na lalabas sa mukhang mayaman. And sabihin,
Tapos,
sir, I cannot enter the conference because I don't have money. I don't belong there. I don't have a business. But can you please still tell the registration that I'm your apo? I need to be with you. It's because you forget to take your medicine. So if I will remind you to take your medicine or else magagalit si Lola. So naging ganun yung ganap, Pao. Kanya-kanyang diskarte.
galing, diskarte. Oh.
When I entered on those conferences, ako yung runner nila kasi ako lang yung bata. Pag kailangan nila ng kape, tinitimplang ko sila ng kape. But at the end of the day, I was learning so much because I was
Tama.
attending conferences. I was hungry to learn. So I was taking down notes. And all those big people who were in conferences, when I became an agriculturist, they were like the directors and the secretary of
Oo
agriculture.
nga, I'm sure.
And they saw me, they recognized me. I was that 15-year-old girl na taga-timpla nila ng kape kasi I'm the only girl in the conference.
Na nagpapainom ng gamot kay Lolo.
Alam mo yun?
Hoy everyone, sandali lang, Cherry. Gusto ko lang yung mga viewers natin. As you see, everyone, hindi lang po agribusiness ang pinag-uusapan natin dito, pati totoong diskarte sa buhay na sinishare sa atin ni Miss Cherry. Nakakatuwa yung kanyang mga anecdote dito. So dahil po sa hindi siya mapapasok kasi bata, walang perang pang register, anong gagawin? Didiskarte, kakausapin yung mga tao na umaattend para po matuto. Kumusta po tayo? Di ba pagkaganyan? So anong key dito, everyone sinishare niya, diskarte. Alright, Cherry, go ahead.
Diskarte lang talaga, Pao, mabuhay. So now, my heart is really into mentoring a lot of young people. Look at this. Now, these are my team members whom they need to really work on the farm to experience it. In AGREA, we have this hiring that you need to sleep in a farmer's house and stay with them for a week for them to understand what they're doing before you can be regular in AGREA. So we develop women scientists. So we have this program called Forward. It's finding opportunities and roles of women in agricultural and rural development, where women are the first forefront and center of our work. So right now, we're trying to work on this all over the country in partnership with DA and other organizations. And look at this, Pao. We also want to unlock investments to farmers, investment to women in micro social enterprises, and small medium in the supply chain. Because if the women cannot be in the crop production, maybe they can be in value addition, in processing. Maybe they can be in sorting and grading and standardization of our product. So these are our interventions in the women in the farming communities that we are trying to espouse na may role talaga yung mga nanay palagi. Aside from that, during the pandemic, we also launched and signed a MOA with the Department of Agriculture on some big companies and organizations to do the hashtag Plantdemic, no, the Plant program with Secretary William Dar. So right now, we've been present in so many communities. Alam mo, Paolo, kahapon, I left home at 6 o'clock in the morning. I had my coffee there sa kay Tatay Mang Sani. Nag-celebrate kami ng 1-year anniversary namin. So, nag-date kami doon sa Sierra Madre Mountain. After that, I had an interview with Atom Aralio. After, I went pa to Payatas for our
Okay.
urban project. Because in Payatas, I remember I was there in October for our company donations. No, we've been sending food there. But it's not sustainable. They really need to know how to also grow their own food. When I was there, Pao, na-shock ako. There were like boys, mga 9, 10, 11, 12 years old sila. Sabi nila, ate, salamat po talaga sa pagkain na binibigay niyo sa amin. Pero ate, 3 araw na po kami hindi kumakain. Yung juice, like yung tang, tinitimpla lang nila sa pitchel. Tapos yun yung iniinom nila just to sustain. So sabi ko, wow, grabe yung gutom. Especially them. Kasi they are ambulant vendors, or wala talaga silang trabaho. So right now, we started setting up an urban farm in there, and right now we got like a bigger space pa to do more urban farming, and we have 50 women joining that
In
and
Payatas.
in Payatas. And we also launched this Pao, another discarte. There are so many plantitas they want to plant. So we release ang pinakabet mo. All the vegetables present in pinakbet, you can plant it in one crate, no, from this crate. The fanigang, lahat ng vegetables present in sinigang, you can buy it. Or leafy la vida loca, if you are into vegetables or salads, you can grow that. Flower power for edible flowers and also superb for all the herbs. So funny lang siya, we name it, but we sold a lot of this grow kits, Pao. And we
Until
have
now
a lot.
ba, meron pa to? Yung mga, these
Yes.
seedlings ba to, Che? Or
Yes,
parang
seedlings
mga
and
ano na?
seedling seeds, organic fertilizer, seedling tray, potting medium. It's there.
Kompleto.
Yeah.
Oh.
So look at this now. Some of the women who received this, we actually helped almost 1,000 women in informal settling areas, no, in Santa Mesa, Manila, Laguna relocation site, Bulacan relocation site, and it's really nakakatuwa kasi during the end of the year, when food was so expensive, lahat sila pa nagsisend sa group chat namin, ma'am, ang sarap po ng aming tinolang bangos. May gulay. Ma'am, ang sarap po ng aming paksiw. Sa taas, mayroong okra at saka ang palaya. Alam mo yon? So parang they're more healthier because they eat and they utilize the front yard of their house as their garden. But aside from that, Pao, because of this love also for women farmers, we're actually pushing a Magna Carta of rural women. So in 2019, we started this discussion. We gathered all powerful women organization leaders all over the country, including the first president of an indigenous tribe in Mindanao, and also the women running the Bangsamoro. We flew them here in Metro Manila to have this discussion. And last year, we also continued this with the support of the Netherlands Embassy and Corteva Agri-Science. Go Negosyo, you're part of our Go Negosyo Mentor Me, so we're part of this. And on end of this month, we are launching the Grow Her to support most of these women pa in the program. But aside from the work of women, another one is youth. Kasi Pao, belong ka naman ako sa millennials.
Uy, kasama tayo dyan. Ano ba? Konti lang. In the mid na ng millennial at millennial.
So
yan yung mga millennials at millennials at mga centennials sa mga viewers natin. Ayan na. We hope na nakukuha nyo po yung mga pinag-uusapan natin. Napaka-interesting. Napakarami po na ibabahagi sa atin ni Miss Cherrie. So, konti na lang po ito. Papabayaan po natin si Miss Cherrie magbahagi pa kasi ang dami po talaga nating natututunan. Ayan, sige Miss Cherrie. So, magkakasama tayo. Basta may nyals dun sa dulo. Pati na yung mga denials. Nandyan na rin at lahat tayo na rin.
I love that. Lahat na. So, Pao, we're working a lot with youth in agriculture. We actually work with the U.S. Embassy and the Department of Agriculture for this. We launched Marawi Seeds by training a lot of young people from Mindanao war zone areas. We've been bringing them to our farm in Marinduque, around 120 of them. around 30 to 40 every year. And then when they go back, they train their mothers to develop their campsite, MILF camps, and convert them into food production sites para hindi din sila nagugutom after wars, and bombing. Because most of the time, they're dependent from government support. But right now, Pao, sabi ng mga nanay doon, ma'am, daghan naman may kaayog mais, ma'am, ug mga utanon. So di na may mga itagkuan, support. So they have now a lot of corn and vegetables na in their MILF campsite and in the sites where right now they're having their tents lang temporarily. So they're growing na. So these are their children that we converted them to be trainers of their parents. So this is actually a product of my meeting with President Obama in 2015 in Malaysia. Sabi ko kay President Obama, President, can you please help me to make farming sexy, including a lot of young people? Sabi niya agad, Pao, okay, whatever this girl, Cherry, will do, US Embassy Manila, please support her. So we have this strong partnership with them since then.
Galing.
But to summarize what I was saying, kasi ang dami ko nang nasabi, Pao, ang sarap pala nitong show mo, how do we bounce back better by supporting the agriculture sector? A pro-Filipino farmer approach is very important. Support local growers, invest to farmers, ang daming investments na kailangan sa agriculture sector, increase productivity and competitiveness on the farm, and also develop more climate resilient cropping system. So for me, at the end of the day, most essential business is feeding people, right? And another one is, lastly, food is the new internet. Food connects all of us. Food, even now with the pandemic, nagzo-zoom ka lang, nagmumukbang kayo. So food connects all of us. But in producing food, let's make the farmer center and core of change. So Pao, maraming salamat. Most things except agriculture can wait. And farming is cool, smart, sexy, and humane. At ito po yung mga tao who has been helping me. This is my core team in AGREA, who are really so committed of helping this work to reach more farmers and fisher folks in the country. Thank you so much, Pao.
Alam mo, yung sinabi mong the term sexy right now, kasi nitong pandemic, we have seen parang when you talk about differentiating your product or service, particularly food, you make food or you sexify food. Now we're hearing everyone that farming can be sexified. Yeah? So ano ibig sabihin? It's a it's a very good way to encourage people, Cherry. Napakaganda ng mga nabahagi mo, na i-share mo. Pero okay lang bang magtanong ako ng dalawa o isa lang siguro para sa kalaman ng marami? Alam ko hindi po nagpahinga si Cherry para dito sa session na to, ha. Alam mo, Cherry, the usual kasi kinakat ko ng konti, pero ayokong ikat ng konti yung para makainom ka ng tubig, makahinga ng konti. Pero kasi maganda yung yung ating sharing, so minarapat naming idiretso. Now, everyone, ha, alam ko kayo hindi rin at hindi nyo napigilan yung pag-ihi. Huwag mo na kayo iihi, konting-konti na lang to, everyone, ha. So Cherry, parang given that, di ba, we're talking about leadership also of women. Parang exceptional that we can see you. Parang how do you see to replicate a typical Cherrie Atilano in our midst? Yan. Teka, alam mo, pwede mong mamaya. parang sa dulo niyan may I thank you ka, ha? Ay na, I thank you, ha? Go ahead, Cherrie.
Reverse na question. Ako pa, I'm such a very lucky person, no? Despite the struggle. Alam mo ba pa, pinaaral ko yung sarili ko. I was a working student. I really worked hard to send myself to school because when I lost my dad at the age of 3 years old, it's so hard for me, no? But what's resolute for me is I know what I want and I really put my entire commitment to make it happen. So when I was 12 and I started teaching farmers, my mom wanted me to be a doctor kasi may scholarship available. Pero kumuha din ako ng scholarship ko at nag-tutor ako ng anak ng mga professors ko. I left home at 15. I went to Leyte. I stayed there for 4 years. And sabi ko sa sarili ko, I really want to be an agribusiness person that will build an agribusiness with a heart. And from there, I think the key there is I know what I want at a very young age, and it's a blessing. I never really experienced like nalilito pa ako or midlife crisis, things like that. But another one, it's so clear to me what I want to do. So I was willing to sacrifice what it needs to be sacrificed. I was willing to traverse even no one was there along the road with me. Even agriculture was not sexy yet. You know, we are doing it sexified version. Even agriculture was not sexy. I was there. Wala akong pakialam if sabihin ng ibang tao before na, Cherry, ang talino mo, you're class valedictorian, ang mag-agrikultura ka. Diba? Yan yung mga profession that you choose if hindi ka nakapasa sa other entrance exam. Kasi pupulutin ka sa kangkungan.
Alam mo, ito yung mga gagawin sa mga ganyan tao. Pakinggan mo to, Cherry. Pakinggan mo to, Cherry. Ito ang gagawin natin sa mga tao yan. Alam mo, maraming negatrons at negastars, di ba? Yan. Pero ipinapakita ho ni Cherry na kabaligtaran. So, yan ang ano. Sige nga, ituloy mo lang yung part na yon, Cherry. Tuloy mo lang doon sa part na yun.
You know, people before like bashing me, Cherry, ang talino mo, maganda kang bata. Bakit gusto mo mag-agriculture? Mainit, you know, dapat, ay nako, wala, pupulutin ka sa kangkungan yan, mga labasa ka, mga matis ka, parang ganon. So for me, parang, it's not because I want to prove myself, it's because this is what I love to do. I really know that this is what I love to do and this is what I chose to dedicate my life doing. So for 23 years, kahit maraming offers, opportunities, I really continue doing this. And a lot of people say, Cheers, you're so successful, you've been helping a lot of people. But for me, Pao, success is nothing. My mom was always telling me growing up, the most important thing in life is to connect the shortest distance. I was only 6, Pao. My mom said, can you connect your shortest distance in life? I said, shortest distance? Ano yan? You're 6 years old. My mom said, that's the distance between your head and your brain. Your brain and your heart. You connect that shortest distance of your brain and your heart, you will not only be successful, but you will be relevant and significant. Kasi ayaw ko ng daughter na successful lang on her own needs and enjoying that success on her own. I want you to be relevant and to be significant. So for women out there, you know, use that power of choice, the power of tenacity and grit to be relevant and significant.
And I thank you, di ba? Parang, you see everyone, loving that particularly yung the mind and heart connecting with that short distance, no? Doesn't follow that we are short or literally we are, you know, long, but it's more of parang taking us to where we wanted it to be. Sabi niya kanina, di ba, yung willingness mo, use the power of relevance and so on. And these are the powerful, you know, quotable quotes of ladies like Cherry. Kaya nga dapat, Cherry, ang gagawin sa'yo, kung ang pangalan mo ay Cherry, susunod yan, magiging cherries na yan ng maraming tao. Okay. Isa na lang, Che. Isa na lang. Ang ganda nun eh. Susundan ko lang yon para parang final question for our Miss Agri Business UN version. Where will women start?
Where will women start? Yeah, where will women start? Every day I ask myself about that. You know, because there's so much fear to start. You know, for me, I don't know if a lot of women are asking themselves, every day kasi pa, 1 hour I don't work ha. The moment I wake up, I don't work for 1 hour. I pray, I meditate, I do reading, I listen to podcasts. Because sometimes it's so hard to start. There's so much fear and it takes a lot of courage to start. But for me, start from what your heart is telling you to start. Sometimes, no, parang, okay, you need to use your brain, right, to start. But most of the time, that gift of intuition and the gift yung hindi ka makakatulog kasi ito talaga gusto gawin ng puso mo, start from there. But also, be willing to sacrifice and to take on the challenge. Alam mo ba pa, the International Women's Day ngayon, #choose to challenge. So, you know, it's not difficult to start. It's just like having that willingness to start unwillingness to choose the challenge. And another one, Pao, pala yung sasabi sa sarili ko, ako ang tapang-tapang ko. Okay, gawin natin to. Okay, let's go. Start during the pandemic, right? But we don't know what will happen. Of course, at the end, in the middle of it, just do 1 step forward, 2 steps backward, 4 steps sideways, mamaya sumasayaw ka na.
Alam mo, gusto mo mag-TikTok tayo dito. May TikTok dito bago matapos to, ha? Ayan. Oh, yan na, ha? Oh, yan, ha? Oh. Well, everyone, no? Okay, ang sabi ni Miss Cherry doon, where do we want to start? Sabi niya, look where you want to start. Diba? Parang, again, babalik na naman dun sa willingness, something that you have to be, kailangan alam mo kung ano yung gusto mo eh. And I think, Cherry you're an epitome of a woman, an empowered women, a women who have that leadership capabilities. Sayaw lang tayo dyan habang ayan alam, tignan nyo ha. Sabi ko, kaming mga millennial, alam po namin yung mga sayaw niya. Kayo yung mga pilingal at sintila na nanonood sa atin at marami pang denial, tutunan nyo na po ito para maging relevant tayo. Yan po sinasabi rin ni Cherry, we have to be relevant. And women can always be equal with men. Women can always provide that inspiration. Cherry, for one, is an epitome. Siya po ay isang halimbawa na nandun sa industriya, sa sektor na alam naman nating inaayawan. Sabi niya nga earlier, kanina pa. Pero bakit po siya namamayagpag? Bakit po siya very successful on that? Cherry, alam ko napakarami ka nang na-share. Bago tayo mag-TikTok. Can you say something that last few words for this, for our viewers? Go ahead, Cherry.
For me, for all the viewers, agriculture is always a good venture, but at the end of the day, I don't want to push everyone naman na pilitin, right? Always just do things that are setting your soul on fire. Always do things that set your soul on fire and making you awake, hopeful every morning, and you're so giddy to wake up every morning, but also so peaceful to sleep at night, because that is very important. And more importantly, always do more good because nothing can beat the good. Maraming salamat.
Ang galing, talagang pang Miss Universe po ito. Bigyan nga natin sila ng sayaw, Cherry, na isa. Sige, pakita mo ang TikTok mo para naman they get to see the funny side and the real side, the vulnerability side of Cherrie Atilano. Yan, Yan po, nagtitiktok si Cherry. Ganyan ba? Bahala na kung paano man yan. Ayan, sige lang, di ba? Ayan, lalakas ko ng konti, Cherry, yung ating music. Bahala na, kahit paano, para lang mapakita natin, Yan, Yan po ang beauty ng show ng The Paulo Tibig. Ayan, tignan nyo, nagtitiktok pa si Cherry. Tignan nyo, ha? So, Cherry, maraming salamat, Ayan. Savage love. Parang pinakita po sa atin ni Cherry yung alam nyo, yung everything can be done. Talagang sabi niya, you have to set your soul on fire as always. Diba sabi nga natin, there's a need for igniting our fire within, and it starts everyone in our core. Sarili natin yan. Katulad po na sinasayaw nga ni Cherry na TikTok. O imagine niyo, baka dito lang po na TikTok si Miss Cherry, only here at the Paulo Tibig Show. Okay, Cherry, maraming salamat, and I'm sure our viewers have really been inspired, really been motivated for all the sharings that you have provided for this episode. So maraming salamat in behalf of the whole viewership. Ito lang ang maibibigay namin sa iyo, Che. Bukod sa pinag-TikTok namin, ito na lang. Palakpakan natin everyone si Miss Cherry, and let's all show our appreciation. Maraming salamat, Che. And I hope na women, for that, will always be, it's a breed of new women that we wanted to see na magiging katulad ng Cherrie Atilano. Cherry, last message for them, or last word, just a few words just to say goodbye. Yeah.
always love yourself. Alam mo, sobrang dami kong ginagawa. I always take time to take self-love is not selfish. It's necessary. Sa lahat ng mga babae dyan, alagaan niyo po yung inyong sarili kasi isa po kayo sa inspirasyon sa maraming tao at marami tayong magagawa together. Maraming salamat.
Okay. So finally, I would like to say final thank you everyone and to Cherrie, maraming salamat po. Hindi man katulad ni Atom Arolo ang kausap mo, pero I'm sure nag-enjoy ka kung si Atom hindi mo napa-TikTok, at least dito sa show, napa-TikTok ka namin. At definitely, marami kaming natutunan, marami kaming nalaman, at marami kang na-inspire with this session. Cherrie, maraming salamat and thank you.
Walang ano.
You can use me.
Okay. Ayan everyone, no, narinig natin na talagang napakaganda pa rin sa agrikultura. Sabi ko nga lagi, no, it's cool to be in agriculture everyone, no. So I hope na nakita natin na yung narinig natin sa ating bisita ngayon na talagang makakatulong sa atin at lalo tayo ma-motivate to get into it. Remember, it's a business of infinity. Yan ang maganda dyan. So again, for bookings and inquiries with our programs and our keynotes, so let us know. Again, email us lamang or message us dun sa ipa-flash natin in our screen. Ayan ha, so wag niyo pong kalilimutan, no? At para matulungan namin ang inyong mga companies at inyong mga businesses. So yun. So we also are extending the holiday book bundle promo for only $6.99. You'll be getting our Strategies of a Champion Entrepreneur na libro. Kung kayo ay startup na business o kayo naman ay talagang existing businessman na or entrepreneur, ito po ay malaking tulong para sa inyo as much as it could help a lot of Filipinos already, not just in the country but all over the world. With this is our recently released standout leadership book, How to Lead Without Losing Your Value. So imagine niyo at $6.99 na dati laging $4.50 po yan in a bookstore, now you can get them for $2 at $6.99. Grabe yung value na makukuha ninyo. Again, you can also order by bulk. Let us know in our number or email us. Now, preview tayo for next year. Again, still, nasa Women's Month pa rin tayo. So we'll be having guests na talagang women leader, women, empowered women para mas lalo pa to yung makakuha ng mga insight sa kanila. So abangan nyo yung next week nating episode, Saturday, sa ating The Paulo Tibig Show. Yan ha. So, it's been a night again everyone. At this point, sabi natin, women will always be there. They are not just at our back, but they are always on our side to help us get through in our business, in our companies, in our life, personally man and professionally. So anong sisapin natin? Bigyan natin ng pahalaga at lagi nating iisipin ano ang contribution at role na nagagawa nila sa ating buhay. So palagay ko, sama-sama tayo dito, palakpakan natin lahat ang women all over. At Women's Month, everyone, i-cheer pa rin natin sila. Para na sa ganun, tuloy-tuloy na ma-inspire tayo ng mga women in our country. Everyone, see you again. Maraming salamat to Miss Cherrie. Maraming salamat, Cherrie. To our viewers, di ba? Patuloy kayong mag-share, patuloy kayong sumubaybay dahil pinag-iisipan po natin lahat ang kagandahan para sa The Paulo Tibig Show. Again, God bless. God bless. See you soon next week, only here sa bagong Saturday habit natin, always 7 p.m. The Paulo Tibig Show. Bye, everyone.